Hey guys, welcome back to BlazedGoddessTarot. For today's pick a card reading, we are looking into what is the current guidance on your boss. You got pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Go ahead and pause the reading and pick the pile that calls out to you the most. Hey, pile number 1. If you chose this crystal, then this is your reading. Before we get into it, I do want to say that this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you want to book your own private reading with me, the link is in the description at BlazedGoddess.com. I also have a 25% off deal on my readings right now for Thanksgiving. It started November 17th and it will end November 30th. The coupon code is on the screen and is also in the description down below. But we're going to go ahead and get into your reading. So, what is the current guidance on your boss? Kind of like, what is any type of advice on the situation? How should you handle this boss? Kind of just, is there any type of messages that helps you with the relationship with your boss? Okay, so for pile number 1, what will help them? So you have the 2 of Pentacles and the 4 of Swords. And like, it kind of already gave me a vibe of, to put yourself first. Like, if it came down to showing up for this job or, you know, having an extra rest day and you need it, I would go ahead and take that rest day. It's more, take care of yourself, be there for yourself, and do put yourself forward. Yeah, keep everything balanced, but when things get out of whack, take that extra time to yourself. Okay? If you feel like you're breaking your back and not everybody else is doing that, then cut back on what you're doing. Basically, go back to what your contract says, what you signed up for when you first got the job. Don't be, see, there's another self-focused card. You got the 9 of Pentacles. So this goes back to feeling like you really do need to be there for yourself, put yourself first, and kind of relax more at work. Maybe this is already your goal, and it's like certain people are throwing you off because it's like they keep coming to you for things. And this is basically saying, like, kind of learn how to politely say no, and that's not in your job description. Pile number 1. Any type of advice for the boss? You have the Tower. You have the 5 of Wands. Yeah, I feel like don't take what I say seriously unless it really does resonate and you already feel called to it. You already feel like you want to and stuff like that. But this is basically saying, like, willing to put up a fight. Like, if you're not getting treated nicely at work, speak up. If they don't take that seriously, go above their head. I mean, because this Tower in this deck, you have the red flag on the ground. So I feel like that really does talk about, like, tackling this head on. You know, even if you need to be direct and say, this is not my job. I'm not doing this over and over again. Or you have to get more people involved. I feel like that's what Spirit's telling you to do. Yeah, because then you got the Fool at the bottom of the deck. So it's basically saying take that lead. That's why I was just like, you know, do it at your own expense. Don't take it just because I'm saying it. But there might end up being a time where you're going to have to speak up for yourself. And Spirit is saying that would be the best outcome, is to do so. What else for pile number 1? Yeah, see, you even have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords talks about communication. Okay? One of the knights that is the fastest. Okay? I mean, you don't have to be rude. You don't have to drag it out. You don't have to cuss them out. But you could be still very firm with what you're saying. Be like, no, I'm not doing that. You don't have to call them, you know, the B word or anything extra. But definitely saying and meaning what you say will go a far way. Like standing up for yourself, putting yourself first. You have the Knight of Pentacles. You have the Four of Wands. You have the Knight of Cups and the Hangman. I didn't even mean to do it like that, honestly. Now you got the Seven of Wands at the bottom of the deck. And this talks about, you know, standing your ground once again. You know, like she is literally on a cliff and she has no other option but to charge at these people. And I feel like that's what they're doing. What you're doing. What you should do. But I feel like there's going to be times where on one hand you should speak up, but on another hand it's best to be quiet. Because I feel like with this Knight of Pentacles, and especially under the Four of Swords, that's really getting my attention, is the fact that if you do take this time for yourself and relax and stop doing as much, you're going to be offered something. Either a promotion or a raise. Because they're going to have to realize that you do bring a lot to the table. You do bring a lot to the team. Then you got the Nine of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. And this is basically saying, you know, being happy with yourself. Doing things that make you happy. Like maybe at work if you're really stressed out. You know, for your break. You know, this woman's reading a book. But you can meditate. You can take a time and deep breathe. Just anything that helps you relax, help you center yourself, helps ground yourself, brings yourself back to yourself is really what I'm getting. I know I saw myself, yourself a lot, but that is what I'm getting. Because I was saying that, I was just like, man, how many times I gotta use that word? But you gotta get the gist. That part. But again, with the Tower and the Knight of Cups, I do feel like this again is talking about there's a firm line in saying something that could be risky and could lose your job, but just standing up for yourself and still being compassionate at the end of the day. Like, maybe you need to say no, but you could say, respectfully, I'm going to have to say no because that's not my job description. Instead of saying, no, F you, that's not my effing job. You know, instead of screaming and yelling and throwing a fit where you would lose your job, you can kind of approach it as a more respectful and loving way. Be like, I do love my job, but I don't love this aspect of it. And just communicate with them. And I feel like this Knight of Cups, yeah, you know, these people are probably still going to be a shark at the end of the day. They're still going to basically wait until you slip up. But I feel like legally, I don't know if it's different everywhere else, but legally they shouldn't have, you know, any power over that. Like, if you communicated your concerns and your feelings with your boss, I don't think they can really do anything. So it's like some of them might be waiting to do something about a certain situation, but they have no power. So like you can still freely speak up. And then if they do fire you or something, I feel like you can go to and sue them, basically. But I don't feel like it's going to go that far, honestly. I don't feel like you're going to lose your jobs for speaking up. This is basically just watch what you say. You know, don't overkill them. But then you got the Five of Wands and the Hanged Man. And I think this is basically saying, kind of like the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles, it's kind of two opposing energies, because the Nine of Swords is really fast. The Five of Wands is really fast. And they're being paired with a slow card. Like the Nine of Swords is being paired with the Nine of Pentacles, which is a slow, steady, win the race kind of card. And then the Five of Wands, which is really complex and really fast-paced. Like they're really arguing really fast. With the Hangman, which is really still and calm. So this is basically asking, like, again, going back to the meditating, you know, finding something that relaxes you and brings you back to yourself, is also coming back up with the Hangman. Basically saying, like, to always find the calmness and the stillness of the situation, even if you have to separate yourself. So this is basically saying prioritize yourself, speak up for yourself, stand up for yourself. And there's nothing really they can do. But that's something you can control, is what you say and do, and then figure it out from there on how they respond to that. But alright, pile number 1, that is all that I have for you. If this reading resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does mean a lot to the channel. If you want to book your own private reading with me, the link and the coupon code is down in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Bye! Hey, pile number 2, if you chose this crystal, then this is your reading. Before we get into it, I do want to say that this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you want to book your own private reading with me, the link is down below. I'll also have a 25% off deal on my readings right now. It started November 17th and it goes on until the 30th. The coupon code is on the screen and it is also in the description down below. But I just wanted to show my appreciation to you guys for supporting me throughout this journey. But we're going to go ahead and get started with your reading. So this is basically saying, like, is there any type of advice for you? How should you approach your boss? How should you handle their situation? Basically, is there any messages that will help you with your relationship with your boss? Okay? A lot of people's been wondering, and I got the answers for you. Okay, but for pile number 2, for some reason when I said that, it reminded me of Plankton when he was taking over Bikini Bottom, like during that movie. I don't know. It's really early in the morning. But for pile number 2, any type of advice for them when it comes to their boss? Any type of... You have the Five of Wands. Any type of advice for pile number 2? You have the King of Cups. I almost said the King of Wands. I don't know if that's going to be significant or not. At the Three of Pentacles, I'm not going to take this because it's a lot of cards and they're all jumbled up. But I will take this one. I will take this one because that one fell out. And you have the Chariot. Then you have the Eight of Cups. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Nine of Cups. So, what is the current advice for pile number 2? I feel like... Let me clarify the Five of Wands. Let me just go ahead and clarify these cards, actually. Clarify the Five of Wands, please. Thank you. We got the Sun. Clarify the King of Cups, please. We have the Ten of Pentacles. Clarify the Three of Pentacles, please. You have the Eight of Pentacles. You have the Knight of Wands. Then you have the World. Then you got Strength at the bottom of the deck. So I feel like you're being called to kind of realize that you kind of outgrown this situation. That this situation is probably not best for you. I say that because of the Eight of Cups in the World. Like, I feel like your purpose here has been completed. And it might be time to let go, especially with the Eight of Cups. I feel like with the Chariot and the Knight of Wands, I feel like you are meant to follow your passions. You are meant to figure out what you want to do, like, for your whole life instead of just on a day-to-day basis. This is really encouraging you to take action towards those things, because those are going to serve you better than this place, wherever you're working. And I feel like with the King of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles, I feel like that's also giving me a vibe of, like, you know, remember your goals. Remember what you really want. And is there any type of actions that you can do to move forward? Is there anything you could do to make these dreams happen a little bit more quicker, you know? Maybe this type of dream is waiting on you, and where you're so focused on this boss or work or this, you know, this comfort zone, really, you know, you're not really taking time to make it possible. And I feel like with this Five of Wands, with the Sun, I feel like basically saying, like, see, it still kind of confuses me why the Sun came out with it, because, again, these are, you know, contradicts each other. The Five of Wands talks about being stressed, pressured, overwhelmed, you know, being very complicated or complex, right? And then the Sun talks about, you know, being free, being lighthearted, having a good time. I think this might be saying, like, don't be so focused on the drama. You know, maybe you have a certain friend group at work that you like, or there's certain people that you do enjoy. And this is basically saying, like, hey, focus more on these people than on what's really going on around you. Because I kind of feel like it is out of your control. Like, with the Three of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles, I feel like this is basically saying, like, stick to your contract, stick to your responsibilities, don't add more to it, don't really do nothing other than your job, is what I'm getting. Because this place don't deserve anything else from you. So this isn't so much about your boss, it's so much about, like, the whole place. This is basically saying get away from all of it, because it's not going to change. This is basically saying, like, you got to change how you look at things. You're going to have to change how you move. And if it still bothers you at the end of the day and you feel like you still feel kind of heavy because of this, then it's really time to let go. Let things in. Let things float away, basically. Because I do feel like something is definitely waiting for you. I feel like you've been waiting on it. It's been waiting on you. And if you don't take actions towards it, I feel like maybe for some of y'all could lose it. Lose the opportunity. But I feel like it'll just never happen if you don't just go ahead and take that action, you know? You can't just wait around for everything. And I mean that in the politest way. But I really do. Now, if your dream is to work in the same company, then maybe you're going to have to, again, take this for your own. Like, don't just jump because I'm saying it as a tarot reader. But this, you might have to threaten them a little bit and be like, well, if I don't get that pay raise that I asked for, or if this don't get fixed, then I am leaving. But only do that if you know that you hold weight. If you really know that this boss is going to do anything that they can to keep you. And then maybe you can eventually get something out of this place. But like, I don't know, another message is that if there is a lot of drama, I feel like if anybody, it would be you to be able to kind of control the storm. You would be able to turn the situation around by not getting involved. Like if you see a bunch of people talking and gossiping and drama and you can just walk away. And I feel like it'll probably encourage other people to do the same thing. Because like, I already feel like that with the King of Cups. But even with the Knight of Wands, you have this person or this dragon basically breathing fire and talking crap. And then you're kind of just over here still doing your job. You're still making a good time out of things. So like, if you really do want to make it work with this boss or this company, I feel like changing your mindset is really what's going to get you there. And maybe even communicating to this boss saying, hey, I do see myself in this position and I am thinking about possibly leaving if nothing really changes throughout this situation. But maybe if I move to a different department or a different position, maybe it'll work out. I think communication with your boss is important. But figuring out what you want is number one. Is it still here? Is it outside of here? What can you do to bring you closer to your goals? I think this is bringing you more attention inward than outwards. But alright, number 2. I know that wasn't so much about your boss, but that is what I'm getting from your cards on, what advice. Because maybe this boss just don't want to listen. Maybe you're just going to end up bumping heads with him. Like, maybe there's nothing really you can do about the situation. You just kind of have to adjust and be flexible with it. But this is what I'm getting for you. If this reading resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really just means a lot to the channel. If you want to book your own private reading with me, again, the link and the coupon code is down in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed. Bye! Hi, pile number 3. If you chose this crystal, then this is your reading. Before we get into it, I do want to say that this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you want to book your own private reading with me, the link is in the description at BlazedGoddessTarot.com. I will also be having a 25% off deal on my readings starting November 17th to the 30th. I just want to show my appreciation to you guys for supporting me. The coupon code is on the screen and it will also be in the description down below. But we're going to go ahead and get into it. So this is basically any type of advice for you on your situation with your boss, how to handle your boss. Basically anything that will help your relationship with them. But alright, pile number 3, any type of advice. Pile number 3 in their boss. We have the 9 of Pentacles. We have the 8 of Cups. Ooh. Take those 2. I caught him though. You have the 9 of Swords. You have the 4 of Pentacles. Guys, this is not good energy. Pile number 3. What is their advice? You have the Chariot. Clarify the 9. You have the 4 of Wands. You have the 3 of Swords. Clarify the 9 of Swords, please. You have the Emperor. I feel like the Emperor goes right here. And then the 7 of Wands goes right here. And Chariot, please. What is Chariot here for? You have the Ace of Swords. Okay. Bottom of the deck, you have these 7 of Cups. So I do feel like you have options. You have some type of decisions to make. But I think there's several ways you can handle your boss. But I feel like it kind of don't matter because, you know, you got the 4 of Pentacles and the Emperor. So I already feel like that's basically saying that your boss is kind of to themselves. They're self-reserved. They kind of keep a lot of things to their chest, and they might even potentially lie to you at times. Just potentially. I feel like that's only if you know that they've lied to you. But I feel like with the 9 of Swords and the 7 of Wands, there's definitely some type of friction at work. There's a lot of he said, she said. And you kind of have to think, like, maybe this is basically how your boss feels. Because I feel like maybe it's like a keep in mind that you don't know what your boss deals with at night. You don't know what they have to deal with outside of here. And I feel like a lot of times they do get overworked or overstressed. And then when something becomes their problem, like if you bring them a problem, it's usually a projection. Okay, so a lot of times when you look at what your boss is doing towards you and their actions, then you're going to realize that it's a lot of projection. That, like, if you ever sat there and was just like, well, why did they get so defensive? Why did they get so snappy? It's because they projected how they feel on the inside to you. They're projecting their hurt, their sadness. But with the first 4 cards on the left, the 9 of Pentacles being clarified by the 4 of Wands, I feel like, honestly, if you want to stay there and you want to be happy, or you want to be happy in this relationship with your boss, then this is basically saying to self-focus on yourself. Don't hyper-focus on this boss or what anybody in that fact is doing. I wouldn't stress about it, because these people don't really know what they're doing. Sorry. These people don't really know what they're doing, okay? Your boss is really more stressed about other things right now. And I feel like with the Chariot and the Ace of Swords, the truth will prevail. It will pop up. You will figure out the truth with this boss. You're going to figure out why they act the way they do. And you're going to end up figuring out how to really approach this boss from now on. I feel like you will get your answers more specifically. And like, for some reason, I want to say the next week or two. But for some, it could be like 2-3 months. But I feel like it is sooner than later. I feel like you are going to figure out, if you haven't already, how your boss kind of works, how other people work with them. Because I don't think I've ever noticed with this Emperor how he has a cat in his lap and a dog. So I feel like other people usually just pay this boss no mind. Let them kind of do whatever. And I feel like with the 8 of Cups and the 3 of Swords, one, I feel like this is a message saying if you was to leave, you would be kind of heartbroken. Okay? It would be more hurtful. I feel like not only for you, but for everybody, if you did leave. And I think that's why the universe is going to send you signs. They are going to send you something to help you figure out how to handle this boss, how to basically move forward. But I do definitely feel like with these 4 cards, you have one path, which is to stay. You gotta be self-focused and you'll end up pretty happy. And others will also be pretty happy. It'll be a lot of cheering. But then you have another path, which is to leave. And I feel like you're going to be really heartbroken. You're really going to miss this job. You're not going to find it really worth it to lose this job. And then the rest of the cards is basically saying, in due of time, you're going to understand more. You're going to understand that this boss is really stressed out and they have underlying issues. Like maybe they're going through a divorce, or maybe they just found out their partner's cheating. You know, like, this isn't, feel bad for them, pity them, but this is like a friendly reminder to remember that they are human too. You know, they have problems outside of here as well. And I feel like with the Chariot and the Ace of Swords, this is a general reading, so I can't sit here and tell you, oh, do this, do that, your boss is like this, and then somebody else, oh yeah, well, your boss is different, this is what your boss is going through, you know what I mean? I can't just tell you what to do, like, full on, because I feel like everybody is kind of different. Like, maybe one of your bosses is going through a divorce, alright, and I could sit here and basically say, comfort them, or at least be understanding during this time. But some of y'all's boss ain't going through a divorce. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. So it's kind of like you kind of have to. That's why the Ace of Swords is basically popping up, because it's one of those figure it out yourself type of things. I'm not trying to be rude, but it's basically saying, hey, this is the big picture, and you gotta go figure out the small details, alright? But I do definitely feel like the next couple weeks, you are going to get more clarity about your boss. You're going to have more signs. You're going to have more, basically, I feel like conversations with them, and you're going to understand them more. And you're going to understand how to really deal with this as much. You're going to realize that they really don't talk about their business. They are private. They don't want people to know. And this is what you don't know, is that they are going through it. I mean, who knows? Maybe your boss is bankrupt. Yeah, they make more than you, but that don't mean they know how to budget it. You know, so it could be 100 different things. I mean, shoot, it could be 100 different things for one boss. You don't know how much people are going through. So, I hate to say it, but this is kind of like a reminder to be kind. It's not your fault that any of this is happening. It's not your fault that this relationship's dynamic is like this. But this is Spirit saying, you're going to figure out. Just keep your heart open. And realize if you do leave, or you do walk away from this connection, it's going to do more harm than good. I feel like on both parties. You and them. But this is basically saying, you know, the universe does hear you. You are going to get answered. Things are going to come to light. And to trust your own abilities, because you know how to react. You know how to move forward in the best possible way. This is just basically saying you don't know how much people are really hiding. You don't know how much they're really trying to protect themselves. And how scared people are. Alright? But alright, pile number 3, that is all that I have for you. If this reading resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does mean a lot to the channel. If you want to book your own private reading with me, again, the link and the coupon code is down in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Bye!